It's okay. Off your mind. It's okay. Off your mind.
Chai! Now wow, people wey suppose talk truth to power don off mic, and if we talk, na 500,000 they go sama us call am hate speech. But fear not, Mayegun don come. Him go torchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people wey dey spoil our country. So my people make we loud, oh yo yo. Mayegun don come, oh yo yo. My people make we shout, oh yo yo. Mayegun don come, oh yo yo. Mayegun don come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. Mayegun don come, oh yo yo. Mayegun diary politico, oh yo yo. Mayegun don come, oh yo yo. This one na dey off in mind, oh yo yo. Mayegun don come, oh yo yo. Can he dey touchlight every corner, oh yo yo. Mayegun don come, oh yo yo. Okay, some people be dey holla say dem want the power. Chai, dem be promise us say we go get light and power. Dem hustle sote they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Every day, dollar just they get the higher power over naira. Still them talk say make we off mind, but thank God say Mayegun don come. So my people make you loud, oh yo yo. Mayegun don come, oh yo yo. My people make we shout, oh yo yo. Mayegun don come, oh yo yo. Mayegun don come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. Mayegun don come, oh yo yo. Mayegun diary politico, oh yo yo. Mayegun don come, oh yo yo. This one not dey off in mind, oh yo yo. Mayegun don come, oh yo yo. Person wey dey do evil no one make person talk. Them say that Mayegun, that man too dey talk. He too dey talk. Say Mayegun diary, he dey hot like pepper. But every day then they take money in bulk. Poor man pikin dey the street dey hawk. Still them talk say make we no talk. But thank God say Mayegun don come. So my people make you loud, oh yo yo. Mayegun don come, oh yo yo. My people make you shout, oh yo yo. Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one.
Mayegun ti dé o, ọ̀rẹ́ ará ìlú.
Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one.
Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube.
Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one.
Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Mayegun já wa sí.
Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one.
Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o.
Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one.
Bó bá ṣe eré, àní Mayegun máa wí.
Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one.
Ó sì tún ṣe eré, wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o.
Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one.
Mayegun diary, diary politico.
Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one.
Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Mayegun.
Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one.
Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o.
Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one.
Àní Mayegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé. Mayegun ti dé.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Lórí Facebook.
Mayegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Lórí YouTube.
Mayegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti
jíjó ìgbádìyẹ.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àníyàn sọ́ra yìí.
Máyégún ti dé.
Bí pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àníyàn sọ́ra yìí.
Máyégún ti dé.
Kí gómìnà kówó jẹ.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àníyàn sọ́ra yìí.
Máyégún ti dé.
Hello there. Good morning to you. Good afternoon to you. And good evening to you from wherever you are joining us. This is Mayegun Live. And welcome back, dear Templars. Thank you very much again as well for joining me. Please make sure that you always read beyond the caption of the broadcasts. Take your time to read the description of the broadcast as well. Like it, share it, invite your friends, invite your not so friendly friends, and tell them all that Mayegun today, Mayegun is live. Tonight, we have a carefully selected issues to be analyzed, elaborated upon, and at the same time, right, used in passing messages as always in the temple of truth. So thank you so much for being part of it as usual this afternoon. Let's roll it back to yesterday. Yesterday, the Athiefku looters, the SPV boys, and the Armenians on social media, they were in a serious meltdown because Peter Obi said he wasn't interested in going into any coalition that is all for power grab. People destroying people, PDP, is the textbook definition of how not to mismanage an opportunity. Whatever it is that the APC, Egbekebe, is doing to Nigeria and Nigerians right now, wouldn't have been possible if it is not orchestrated by the ego-tripping criminal nest of rogues called PDP, with their over-bloated ego, overfed pigs in Babariga. When they got to the zenith of their power, they became, or they felt so invincible, untouchable, until they pressed the self-destruct button that saw to their demise. And that greed remains with them till tomorrow. So when they were talking about coalition, and if you want to be honest, very, very honest, you will know that people destroying people is as good as a dead political party. However, some people still uses it to sort of achieve their own lifelong selfish political dreams, like becoming a senator, a rep member, or even a governor. And after that, the party is more or less like that vehicle, special purpose vehicle for these rogues. The interest of Nigeria was never their priorities to start with, until they mismanaged that opportunity to give in for these kleptomaniacs, these career and dream killers called APC. And it has become so impossible to actually act as opposition at all. They are pure contractors, job men. And most of those young people that kind of like speaks about PDP themselves, they are of no value, of no use. These are young men that back in 1999, right, in that same contraption, the people in their late 20s, early 30s, mid 30s, and late 30s. There were those who became governors, senators, and what have you in Nigeria. But today, the younger people in Nigeria, especially of a PDP flock, not APC yet, okay, PDP flock, these are people, these are young people in, not so young, in their late 30s, early 40s, and late 40s, including 50s, who are now striving to become personal assistants, special advisors on social media, influencers for PDP on social media, people who have no real ambitions in life, right? These are the SPV boys that continue to, to have this personal hatred for anyone that they considered as instrumental to them not, to their godfathers not gaining power again. So it's all about power and whatever they can make from it. So they were having meltdown on social media yesterday. I was like, wait, so if you want to do coalition, which of the faction should be having conversation about opposition coalition? So they have what they call the BOT. Take a look at this picture. You see, the guy at the far end, which I have brought his picture to the far right, all right, is Wike's stooge. A court removed him as the secretary of the party. Wike and his gang got him another court ruling in Abuja that returned him and said the judgment of the court from Enugu, right, stay of execution should not be respected. This is not an appeal. It was like an order. Now, you see the guy in black, that is Damago, is their acting chairman, all right? And another stooge of Wike in that place. Now, then the man in the middle, Adolphus Wabara, is the chairman of their BOT, Board of Trustees. A guy who said Wike should not be suspended. Rather, Wike should be seen as an asset of PDP, even though Wike openly, repeatedly, they degraded their party. They couldn't punish him. For peace to reign, according to this guy in the middle, a former Senate president, he said they shouldn't remove Wike. Now, the one that is next to him is McAfee, a chameleon that some people are still wondering that, is he still a member of PDP, by the way? Now, there are so many other characters. He are so divided against himself because of selfish interest of individuals, all right? So, coalition with who? Who are you going to? Some of the people talking about coalition, they are Athiefku's guys, whose interest in any coalition to remove thiefnubu is to make Athiefku the presidential candidate. So Athiefku himself is like, I am a PDP. Meanwhile, other camps within their PDP have their own different interests and allegiance to different causes. They are never together. They are never together. But the ambition that will bring them together is only when it is about grabbing power to satisfy their interests, not about Nigeria, so to say. So this afternoon, just less than 24 hours after the show last night, we just started hearing, hey, go, wait, what's happening? They said now from Wadata, they were supposed to have a BOT meeting. That was where this picture was taken, by the way. A BOT meeting, Board of Trustees meeting, to discuss the way forward. Okay, way forward to where? A guy who happened to be their former, because they use former for him now, the former youth leader, national youth leader of PDP, right? Came to the BOT, Board of Trustees meeting. And they said he has been parading himself as national secretary. And he's not just parading himself. A court actually declared him national secretary without any convention or congress to elect. And they've also succeeded in making sure that the former biggest political party or largest political party in Africa, as they used to claim to themselves, they used to brag that they were the largest political party in Africa. They will rule Nigeria for the next 50 years but they only lasted 16. Right? So they couldn't settle their internal, crisis. And this has turned them so much apart that some people actually think, people says this is the handiwork of a thiefnubu. Meanwhile, it is not just the handiwork of thiefnubu, it is the greed, selfishness, the self-centeredness of these rogues that are not really people you can call opposition in that place. Do you get that now? They are state governors, right? They are ass lickers to thiefnubu. They used to be the ass lickers for Bokwari. It is all about their interest, nothing about Nigeria or what have you. And that is why APC seems to be the most luckiest criminal political group that ever existed. Because as long as the interest of all these rogues called the state governors of PDP is sort of like, taken care of, Nigeria can go to places. Even though they might also come out to be crying about, pretending to be criticizing APC at the center, but that is just for show, just for the screen. You see, when they go behind the scene, they are in bed. All of them are in the same, WhatsApp group. So what it cause noise, what it cause wahala today? Baba, the former largest political party in Africa, they were chasing away a man they claimed is an impostor, simply because this guy on the right has the backing of Wike's court. And that is why he is returned as the secretary. So another person showed up to claim to be the secretary. That's when the wahala started. And that is where we are going to start tonight. Let's go to the our data. What happened this afternoon? People destroying people, ladies and gentlemen.
Did you get it? Hey, wait. Hey, get boys. Why was my own boys coming on? No! Who is the man to stop? Because I don't allow him to come. Why not allow my own boss to come? Sorry, bro. Sorry. My own boss come down and one talk.
That is a Sunday Ude-Okoye. APC can't believe their luck. Even though it is easier to point fingers and say thiefnubu is probably bribing some of them, right? But take a look at these characters. If anybody tells you that they are coming to come and rescue you, would you agree that these are the characters coming to rescue you from APC? In all honesty, would you believe that? Do you? No, I don't think anybody here. If there is anybody here that believes that people destroying people, Papa deceive Peking, people deceive people, right? They are coming to rescue you from APC, Al Qaeda People's Congress, all past criminals, all present criminals, rather. APC, you be mumu. You be what? Mumu. So which of these ones do you want to do coalition with? Which of them? Olafeso, who happened to be one of the the leaders of these people destroying people, was on channels this evening to talk about that incident. So I will add it to this convo, just to listen to what you had to say on that issue.
Live on our program tonight. Thank you so much indeed. Have you and your team failed in reconciling this party and the aggrieved persons? Because the Olagunso Yonyilola committee, which you are a member of, is supposed to reconcile. But weeks after that committee was constituted, see what was happening today. People were knocking each other's head in scuffle.
This has been long coming. Quite frankly, these are not the best of times for our party. In the face of the challenges this country is facing, the major opposition party should be in position to direct, to ensure that we encourage our people to know that hope is on the way. And the Olagusi-Olola Reconciliation Committee has not failed. We were inaugurated in August, and we have completed a zone. We've completed the Southwest, we visited, and tomorrow we'll be in the Northeast. And we have spoken to scores of our leaders, and we are very confident that by the time we're done, most of these problems could have been resolved. I think what is happening to us is existential, because what happens to PDP will eventually have an impact on Nigeria. The greatest fear any one of us Democrats would have, including your good self, is the danger and the fear of a one-party state. May it not happen to us. So we take our job very seriously, and many of us in the Reconciliation Committee are tested leaders of the party that must have devoted a portion of their life in seeing that this party is built. I don't know. I was just landing when this happened. I'm here to get the details of what happened at Wadacha this afternoon, but then nothing justifies it. There must be decency, decorum in the way issues are resolved amongst leaders.
Chief Olafeso,
yeah.
Just for a moment,
yeah.
Look at this. Members of the People's Democratic Party at what's supposed to be the most decorous, the most a safe haven, where you have party and democratic issues being discussed. How would you describe this kind of behavior? If you see a man who wanted to hit a police officer there, how would you describe it?
Shameful.
Are you ashamed to be a member of this kind of institution?
Not at all.
That people are beating themselves up?
This is just a mere occurrence that happened today, and those involved should be the ones to be blamed. I carry so many years of PDP performance and contribution to this nation from 1999. We were not young. What we are losing to the street is the fact that few of the younger generation today don't know what Nigeria was before 1999. Some well-seasoned citizens of this country came together to present to Nigeria a party that will have a national outlook. And that was the birth of PDP. From 1999, when Chief Obasanjo took over for the last 8 years, Nigeria was rebuilding. From massive debt to being a pariah state, this country turned out to be, the best destination in Africa for any form of investment. So why will I be ashamed of those past and then decide my future on the premises of what is happening?
Are these urchins or are they real members of your party?
How will I know? The truth
based
is
on
that
their behavior.
You linked it with two individuals, which we need to find out exactly what transpired. I told you, I was landing where you called me. So the only place I've been to is the Challenge station. I'm still going to find out exactly what transpired.
The question is
but then
this supposed to be Chief Olafeso.
It was a build up to what.
I know you are saying. It looks like an own goal. I mean, can you blame anybody for it other than yourselves?
Not at all. Most of our woes are the ones created by ourselves.
So those blaming outsiders or the other political parties for your problem?
They are very unserious. If you're blaming other political parties, blame yourself. When APC was in the trenches against us, how come they did not succumb to us? Look, it was a gala of propaganda against the party. What have we done enough to the point that we'll be fighting each other, apart from throwing the punches at APC that has actually created crisis for this country, as we witness today?
So your PDP should blame itself for its present.
That is my
problem.
That is my personal opinion.
Is Wike your problem in your party?
How can individual? I don't like mentioning. How can
is Athiefku your problem?
How can an individual be the problem of a party?
I'm of judgmental too.
No, he's
because people narrow it down to the differences between these two men.
Hell no, it cannot be. I'm a very sincere person, and a lot of people that understand my politics knows fully well that I speak the truth. It's far beyond these individuals. Some people are supporting Athiefku, some are supporting Wike. What about the ideological position, the vision of the party that we
nuisance lele?
Very dishonest man, by the way. The moment you mention Athiefku or Wike in any conversation where these guys are, right, they will automatically become twisted-tongued or tongue-twisted. They'll begin to stammer. No, because they do not want to offend Wike, who is in government and possibly has some favors he can share. They do not want to offend their Athiefku, who has so much dollars, right, to share as well. Because if you condemn Wike, right, and is influencing the party, takes charge, and you lose out, you are on the losing side. If you condemn Athiefku, right, and Athiefku's side have the upper hand, and this is why those who were supposed to be the leaders of their party have not been able to find any solution, because their personal interests always clash with what should have been their party's interest. And that's how they got themselves to this stage. So, to some of you who, I don't know, who somehow thinks that you have a way out of what the APC, Ebekebe, represents in that contraption called Nigeria, using the people destroying people as your prayer point or contact point. This is just to remind you or show to you, right, that you are never going to be out of the woods with these rogues. There is no end in sight. All right? And like I said, thiefnubu and his gang, they can't imagine their luck. Now, what they are saying behind the scene right now is that they want to go and start a new political party. That PDP is done for. PDP governors, some of them, they are waiting for second term. And thiefnubu has guaranteed them that as long as they are ready to allow whatever kind of a rigging to take place in their state by validating it. Some of the PDP governors who are already doing their second term, some of them are kind of lining up, like Wike, they are lining up to become ministers after 2027. So the entire thing about coalition, you are now going to be like, who are you going to do coalition with? Which of the oppositions are coming together to form a coalition against thiefnubu? Which of them? Well, let's leave that. Another trending conversation, another trending topic or discussion, so to say, in the Nigeria's Twitter square or blogosphere is the freezing of aid to the America, freezing aid to the rest of the world. You know that in the last, I just checked that too, in the last 10 years, America has given Nigeria, through the USAID, they've given Nigeria over $6 billion. This money was to go into different kind of NGO programs. So the USAID now have to partner with some NGOs in Nigeria. The most prominent of their grants goes to the people suffering from HIV, AIDS, tuberculosis, polio, and then girl child education, sanitary pads for girls, for girl child, sex education for young people. I'm trying to remember some of them, okay? And listen, if you don't go to the USAID platform, you won't really know much of what they are doing. But the prominent is about the HIV/AIDS stuff. Over $6 billion. To the point that when Donald Trump announced the freeze, it's 90 days freeze, because they said they want to review all this money, okay, where they go to, with his America First agenda, right? And that has triggered a lot of reactions, most of them stupid reactions, that somehow I felt like, hang on, how can you be from an oil producing country, for example, Nigeria, where you have government, but it is the American money that you are waiting for to fund your health care, serious health care or education in your country, while your criminal politicians are spending hundreds of billions, trillions of naira on frivolities, on themselves. And I started seeing people getting mad. You see, this Donald Trump, why would he do that? Do you know how many people that will die? Do you know how many people that will not be able to pay for their, for their medical this and that? I was like, hang on. You are not mad. You are not angry. Yeah? That you have useless, corrupt criminals as your as your government. You're not really mad. You are not angry that they have no money to budget for your health care, education. And you are angry because the person that is giving you money says, I'm not giving you money again. And suddenly the whole world is about to crash or crumble. Like, where is that? Where is your rage? Where is your anger, your rage? When thiefnubu used $150 million to buy himself a used private jet or presidential jet, where is your rage? Your anger? When they used $14 million, $14.5 million in building a house for your vice president, where is your anger? Where is your anger when they used over 57 billion naira? And we are talking about over $30 million. Sorry, over $40 million in buying themselves vehicles, cars, and what have you. Now, suddenly, you want to explain to us the role of America in the global health here, and not the role of your own government when it comes to your primary, secondary, tertiary health care in your country. Why? I don't know if some of you have noticed, though, the entire social media, I don't know if it is also an agenda from some of them who are the NGOs benefiting from this money. But there is no money America gives to you that is charity. All this money being funneled into all these countries, they come with conditions. Conditions to the point that they will force the hand of your own government to do whatever they wanted. You want this American money? You must do this. You must do that. If you fail to, then they hold on to their money. The money is not free. All this money have been funneled into Africa to cause a lot of you know, disruptions, including crisis here and there, right? To push the agenda of America agenda, this CIA agenda in Africa, where our people are being subjected to all kinds of like guinea pig in the, you know, in the lab, in their lab. This charity, that NGO, this NGO, that, which they have used in funding different you know, anti-African agendas in Africa, in Nigeria. They've used this NGO money to infiltrate some of these countries, whereby you get to know that it's not free money. They are not free money. They are not because America is so benevolent. America is so loving. They invest this money in pushing different kind of propaganda, different kind of agenda, and yeah, they make you so dependent, right? You become so dependent on what is America saying. Is America happy about their decision, or they are going to be angry if we reject this proposal? If we say, no, we don't want to do this, what do you call it, this gender, this and that, would they be punishing us for that? Yes. And then people are angry that they said, okay, they want to review where this money goes, how this money are being spent. And suddenly, people are going to die of malaria. People are going to die of HIV, AIDS. And all other things that they have been pushing out there. And I'm like, wait. I am giving you money. And suddenly, right, it has become my responsibility to provide health care. Like, it has now become the responsibility of America to provide health care for Nigerians. It is now their responsibility to provide education. What is the exact responsibility of your government? It's not as if they've cancelled it, but the fact that they have, you know, sort of frozen it for the next 3 months, and some people are already losing their shit. So that kind of prompted me to ask, if you are so pressed, if you are so angry right now that Donald Trump is this evil guy, Donald Trump is bad, this, what about your government? How come you are not as enraged as you are right now at your government? That is what the former president of Kenya, Uhuru Kenyatta, had to say as well. Listen.
The Mtaani program was intended to put money in people's pockets in order for them to be able to sustain themselves during that difficult time. In rural areas, people had their small plots and their ngombes and their mbuzis. But in urban areas, this was very difficult. So therefore, unlike what some people tried to indicate that this was a political agenda, it was socially, totally aimed at ensuring that these Kenyans who, through no fault of their own, were unable to go to their places of work, at least would have an opportunity to earn a living and be able to continue to support their families during that most difficult time. The other big Mtaani program,
you know, partially it was like, if in the rural Nigeria, people have access, they have no access to clean water, and USAID gave money to some NGOs to go and construct boreholes. So that is American taxpayers' dollars providing water. If not for that NGO, this community will never have water. if not because of that NGO, American money, this community will not have a health center. Or if it's not because of this American money, this particular community, they will not have mosquito nets. They are dying of malaria. Then you're like, okay, great. Thank you, okay, for doing all of this with American money. But is it the responsibility of Africa, of America and American taxpayers to construct boreholes in a village in Borno or in Ekiti, somewhere in Songwater? Is it the responsibility of the American taxpayers to construct street lights for them in Zungeru, in Niger, or somewhere in a village in Katsina? What exactly is the responsibility of your own government? Why are you not mad at them? The people suffering from the HIV/AIDS, as horrible as it is, not always the fault of some, because we have had people that have contracted this HIV/AIDS stuff through sharing of sharp objects, not because of sexual carelessness or so. But it is the duty of your government. So if the politicians turn around and the money meant for healthcare, the money meant for education, money meant for infrastructure and the rest of that are being used by these rogues to buy themselves cars, to live large, where do you think your anger should be directed at? The America that says we're not giving the money out anymore, or your government? I'll leave you to that as well. Let's move a little bit forward. Today, we have received a report that the useless Ekiti police that kidnapped Dele Farotimi have decided to drop the case. They are fake, what do you call it? They are fake defamation case against Dele Farotimi. So in a court filing that we managed to get a copy of, here it is. It's a notice of discontinues and withdrawal brought pursuant to section 108, blah, 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 of the Administration of Criminal Justice Act 2015. Take notice that the prosecution, with the leave of the Honorable Court, shall withdraw this charge against the defendant and pray that the charge be struck out. Ground upon which the application was brought, that the nominal complainant has expressed his desire to discontinue this case. That well-meaning Nigerians have intervened, right? So that means one by one, like we usually sing, we used to sing when I was in Odogbolu Grammar School back then, right? So after a football match, and you are already somewhere at, let's say you are almost like 80 minutes into the game, and we are leading. So you begin to sing one by one. They don't, they go. One by one. Hey, they don't, they go. Hey, one by one. So one by one, they are beginning to withdraw their fake, bogus charges against Dele Farotimi. And the complainant they're talking about, Afe Babanlaole, who was in the presence of Honey of Ife 2 days ago, said he would now tell his lawyers, rather, instead of him to say, I will tell the police to now withdraw the charges again, because they had no case initially. They don't have any case. 2 days ago.
To discuss with you on these topical issues that is so germane to all of us. And lo and behold, the gentleman we're talking about here is your son, is a Yoruba bad man too, Dele Farotimi. But we're looking beyond this case. Babalola, nobody can tarnish your name. You have passed a clear message to all and sundry. Young, old, they've learned from you. That what is in a name, in that name, is way beyond gold and silver. Protect it. You have protected it. You have told us, we have seen, we have heard you loud and clear. Combining forces with the traditional institution in which we uphold so dearly, that is what we're using to take this from you. We have heard you loud and clear. Enough, enough, and enough. Your name is intact. We have heard you. You don't joke with it. We have heard you. Nobody can spoil your name.
I am the chairman of Transparency International, based in Germany, over corruption. I've given lectures alongside with Obasanjo and others around Africa. You can see my speech in Cotonou, everywhere. They are printed. For one to come and say, I won my cases through corruption, strikes at the bottom of all I am. That was why I rejected every appeal to take the case out of court. There is nothing I'm going to gain by his imprisonment. If I sue him, there's nothing I'm going to gain from any so-called damages. I am not in quest of more wealth. No. Rather, on how to spend what I have for the benefit of others. When Obasanjo wrote and came here, I said no. When Uka phoned and came, I said no. I have the letters here. But on this occasion, I say yes.
Nuisance lele. Nuisance lele.
See how they make themselves feel so important. Especially that Ogunwusi, the honey of Ife. Your name can never be tarnished. Your name is made. Baba werey. The same way they say, if nobody say then take the title of honey, cover his crime, he should be in jail. That guy. A guy that perpetuated the biggest land scam haste in the history of land scammers in Nigeria. He's meant to be in jail. But Nigeria is a place that, the reward for criminality is to, the reward for criminality is more higher offices to cover your criminality so that you can continue to commit that criminality. It's unfortunate anyway. So they were making themselves feel so important. After Babanlaole too is feeling so important. Said Obasanjo came here. Moka came here. I said no. You said no, Baba werey. You have no case. No case. But yeah, to make himself feel so important, is not say, oh, the honey has begged him. So because of Oriade, I forgive him. No, you didn't. No. That is what they call Ogbongbon ni agbalagba fi nsa fun maalu. Now we style. You see, when you see in Yoruba land, there's the popular say, they say, na style, the elderly we use in avoiding a cow. Normally, right, the elders will be like, they're like the machos. So when a cow is like that, so you see the elderly, we just pretend like that. I'm not running, I'm just avoiding you. So we would have wanted to see what you could do without you using the corrupt judicial system in that contraption because you had no real case. What they wanted to do is to use their criminal police, right, in locking Dele Farotimi up. But unfortunately, they realized that he is such a big fish that Dele Farotimi is even bigger than what they ever imagined. The response was massive, worldwide. They didn't expect that. They did not envisage that. And guess what? It became so much. The pressure, the heat was so much that people were protesting. They were writing petitions to the King's College in London, the one that he paid £10 million to, in order to put his name in a department there in King's College in London, so that he can call that his legacy when he's long dead. People were kind of like a picketing King's College. All other people who are associated with Afe Babalaole worldwide, they were receiving emails, they were receiving petitions, left, right, and center. They didn't envisage that. They didn't expect that. All this nonsense about people begging him. Because the kidnapping of Dele Farotimi, kind of like it got blown out of proportion. The reaction all over the world was something they never expected. The backlashes, to the point that the more they try to drag him, the more they try to even drag the nonsense defamation case, right? There's possibility that he was burning through his fake legacy. And all of us will remember that he's a corrupt lawyer that corrupted the judiciary in Nigeria. Only mofos, only wearies like them, or those who thought that these were noble men, right, will continue to see them as, and most of the people who see them as noble are members of the APC, the Al-Qaeda People's Congress, all past criminals, association of present criminals. They are the ones. So some of us, a majority of us, they have no legacy. It is legacy of criminality. Go and buy your own copy. You need to. Nigeria and its criminal justice system. Go on and read it. And hopefully, Dele Farotimi will write the volume 2, volume 3, on and on. DF, write the second, go and write the second version of this. There's another werey like that, another criminal called Mr. Fix-It of the Nigerian judiciary. That's another criminal that would love to read his own criminality too, in corrupting the judiciary in that contraption. So yeah, the police in Ekiti said that because Afe Babalaole has withdrawn, so they are also withdrawing, because there was never a case in the first place. Yesterday, when they locked the Omoyele Sowore up, so they now charged him, remember? They charged Omoyele Sowore that he called the police IG, illegal police IG, which is true. Nigeria is a place where criminals are now in charge of the contraption. It is so sad, right? That criminals are now using the instrumentality of states to gag anyone that dares to challenge them. Anyone that dares to challenge them. They will use the instrumentality of the state to gag them, hoping that they can lock you up and use you as a deterrent to others. Okay? They do that. They believe that they can get away with just anything, even when they are breaking their own laws. The Police Act forbids the police IG to sue anyone. If I say Igbetokun is werey, right? Igbetokun cannot sue me as a police IG. He can't. But they used to break all the law anyway, because who is going to tell them? They have the judiciary that's ready to play balls with them, right? To undermine the rights of the people, and then they get away with it. So Omoyele Sowore appeared in their courts today. Meanwhile, they offered him an administrative bail. They said Sowore should go and bring a level 17 civil servant with 250 million naira properties in Abuja. How can a civil servant have 250 million? How much is the salary of a civil servant? How, if not for corruption? Right? and Sowore must submit his passport. He rejected both. So today they took him to court. And let's go to that court, see how that played out.
How does it?
Sir.
See, use this one. Excuse me. Give it. Let's put Presidential waka. Revolution. Presidential waka. This one is too small.
Ridiculous, frivolous, and stupid charges like that.
I know you know the rules. You are not meant to be using vile language, but
which rules?
The rules of journalism.
I'm not a journalist like you. I'm a publisher who hires journalists the same way thiefnubu hires journalists at the Nation and TV News. Yes, but,
are you shaking?
Shaking my words.
That's actually.
No, it's impossible. These are not things that are even relevant to us. So, when I was 21 years old, in 1992, when I first got arrested, I wasn't shaking. How could I be shaking 35 years later? So it's nothing.
You are invited just to like normal invitation, and then you land in the cell or in the cell.
No, I volunteered to go to the police after they sent me a letter electronically, and they told me to fulfill some bail conditions administratively, which I outrightly rejected, opting to stay detained until the charges are properly filed. And that's what we're here.
Do you think you are going to get bail from this?
It doesn't matter, you know. It's, whatever it is, it's whatever will be. But even if I don't get a bail from here, it won't stop me from becoming the next president of Nigeria.
You hope on that?
Yes, seriously. Yeah. I'm not in any way declaring for presidency.
Meanwhile, it's not supposed to be anywhere near any serious business except in the palace where it's a jester. That's why it's
That's Sowore. You know? I mean, I said something about becoming more and more immune to those who are bullying you. Okay? See, when you see bullies, what the bullies want is to make you scared. Okay? And usually, if I don't know any of you who understand what it is like to be bullied. Because what you have in that contraption is some scared, low-life, weak men, all right, in power. despite the fact that they are like low-life weak men, right? But they see themselves as being protected by the aura or the influence of the political office. All right. So where they can feel too big or larger than life, but they are weak men. They are low-life men with very, very thin skins. You can get under their skins easily. So, and the only way that they want to make themselves feel sort of like important or powerful is to use that office to bully anyone. But remember, at the back of that charade, the facade of saying, I am this, I am that, is this low-life, weak man or men. So if you will remember, if you have encountered bullies, most of the time, what the bullies want you to feel is that it's a sense of fear. Like when you see them, you scamper, you are afraid. But if you stand up to bullies and say, okay, you know, even if they appear to be bigger than you, right, hit you, and you are there like, hey, hit me. At a point, the bully will become scared of you. It will become worried of you enough that they are likely going to try to avoid you. But if you see a bully coming and you run, you scamper to safety, it gives them sense of fulfillment, that they begin to feel like, oh no, I told you, they're not born you well. If you see me run, no. So I think Sowore has become that guy who is no longer afraid of the bully. Like, you'll be like, so you're a bully, right? What are you going to do to me? Or you're going to slap me, you're going to kick me. After that, think, what else are you going to do? What can you do? What else will you do? You will lock me up. Okay, well, yeah, I'm ready. So it has gotten to that stage where what they normally would use to sort of control or bully anyone, right, is no longer effective anymore. And it doesn't matter how you see it, all right? But when things get, even the military, they will tell you how some of the early, activists in Nigeria, for example, late Gani Farotimi, when the military back then will be hunting people down, some people will be hiding behind will be hiding under their bed. Some will be in hiding. Gani Farotimi was never in hiding. In fact, they say at the back, at the trunk of his car, the boot of his car, every time he's going to court or he's going anywhere, in the boot of his car, he had a packed bag that contains his toothbrush, his sponge, toothpaste, and some briefs, boxers to change, and some singlets, right? Because he believes that he may be driving on the road right now, and then somebody somewhere will want him in detention, and he's ready, he's willing to go. He may go to court. He may be inside court defending someone, and a judge, angry judge, will order him locked up. A judge had locked Gani Farotimi up for what they called insubordination or something. A judge, not just the military, not just these politicians who are kind of like locked Gani up. So it got to a stage whereby the only thing they couldn't do to him was to order for his assassination or to get him killed. So Sowore has gotten to that stage with them. And you may not see it that way because many of us are not really willing to lose our freedom or our liberty, so to say. And that is why you will see them hunting people down. But every now and then, what I think is going on is that every now and then, the system is creating radicalized Nigerians. And very soon, they will have this massive population of radicalized Nigerians that will be like, what's the worst you can do? Or shoot us. So if you shoot us, if you jail us, right, there will be more coming. Yeah, you may not have the number yet. But every now and then that they are pushing this bullish agenda, and then, the police, the military, and the rest of them, they are creating radicalized Nigerians that won't care. They say, okay, you want to, lock us up. So when he came out, he had this to say, because they had to let him go. Now,
I cannot, in good conscience, continue to participate in illegality. The courts have made it very clear that the police have no right to grant administrative bail that asks for civil servants to own, first and foremost, 100 million naira houses, which is a crime. That's corruption. And to stand bail for me, who is an employer of labor. I'm a publisher of an internationally renowned news website. I have people who are hired in Nigeria and abroad. I'm not a civil servant. In fact, I'm an uncivil citizen who is against all kinds of corruption, and I've spent my entire life fighting against corruption. So to now ask me, to insult me that I should provide a level 17 director who had not, who had not gotten employment when I was fighting for democracy in 1992, to now ask the person to come and stand shorty for me is the biggest insult. Even if President Bola Tinubu had appeared as my shorty, I would have rejected that very laughable, frivolous, ridiculous, and I dare say stupid bail condition. If the court in its own wisdom decide that they want my passport in their coffers because it's a very special passport, that's a different issue. But we must continue to reject the impunity of the Nigerian police and their officers who will just invite you and then ask you to deposit your passport. I'm going to bring a level 17 civil servant. Even by the civil service rules, there is no level 17 officer, because a level 17 officer in the civil service is a permanent secretary who is politically appointed by the president. So you expect such a person to come and stand shorty for Sowore? I'm not being arrogant and I'm not bragging, but in 1992, when I was a student leader, Thiefnubu was a senator, and I was more powerful than him in the Nigerian society. So how dare them ask me? And I can guarantee you that at that time, Ekiti probably had just joined the police and he was a sergeant, or that is if he had not forged it. I cannot.
He's been through it all. Bukwari restricted into Nigeria for nearly 5 years, remember? He was locked up for 2 years. All because he called for revolution, right? And they said his hashtag revolution now is a threat to national security, remember? So what is the worst that can then happen? The worst is if they kill him, Abi? Which is pretty much, as I'm saying it, it's like it is a difficult one to decide on. Somebody is not signing off on that. And he's right. Nigeria was a real place, right? Some of these rogues should be in prison. And all of the frivolous charges they are bringing up every now and then, they have no intention of pursuing any case. They are just bullies who have this modus operandi in what they use all the time to try to gag people so that you can stop talking. You can stop criticizing them. Even when they are breaking their own laws. So in most cases, it kind of does work, but it's not always working on everyone. So that's what makes it like, Sowore is like a bad customer, if you kind of ask me. So his own supporters, they take it back as they were all out today anyway, insisting that he must be released unconditionally earlier.
Come and intimidate protesters. Meanwhile, Abuja is burning. The numbers are having a field day, including in Abuja. But look at police officers here. So this shows the seriousness of this government the seriousness of the so-called legal IGP Egbetokun. Because if we were to be serious, he would have deployed his men to the hot spots of crime in Abuja and the country, and not deploying policemen, this amount of policemen, to harass protesters. So what are we saying? We're asking that Sowore should be brought before a court now. Stop detaining him, stop breaching his right, respect his right to liberty. Release him if you have no charges against him. Free Sowore now! Now, equally, we're also asking for the striking out. Yes, equally, we're asking for the striking out of all cases against dissent, against critics of this government, all critics who are unjustly being tried in this country. We're asking for a strikeout of the cases. We're asking the government to get serious, to get busy with serious things, and stop chasing frivolities. Free Michael Lenin now. Free Adamoye now. Free Osi Sadiq now. Free all and government protesters now.
Because there are still, in case if you don't know, there are still the End Bad Governance protesters in prison. Yeah, I mean, the minors that were brought to court in, I think it was in December. Was it December or November? Yeah, November last year, that sparked national and international debate of why would thiefnubu lock children up in prison for 93 days. Mind you, they released the children. As we speak right now, there are still some handful of people that were kidnapped, right? And right now they are still in prison because of their participation in the End Bad Governance protest in August 2024, last year. Another one is coming up soon, just in case if you need to know. There's another one coming up very soon. And that is likely going to be likened to what you witnessed in 2020. It's going to be brutal. When? I don't know. But something is going to pop up after May 29 this year. Okay? Yeah, these guys are still locked up. In a democracy where they have now, criminalized protests, they have criminalized peaceful gatherings, which they are charging them for treason. Just like they charged those children for treason, that they wanted to overthrow thiefnubu. Children want to overthrow thiefnubu, the government, and there are judges in Nigeria there that lock them up. So other people are still in prison as well. Just like as we are watching this broadcast, there are still people who are in prison since 2020. There are Nigerians who have been in prison because of the EndSARS protest since 2020. They are still in prison now. It's unbelievable. Sir. Yesterday or last night in Zamfara, the Zamfara governor and his vigilantes, right? Not police. They paraded a guy that they said is a gun runner for the Fulani terrorists and other terrorists in Zamfara. They also paraded in display. They displayed the weapons allegedly caught with him. So I have a piece of that to share with us. Let me show you from Zamfara last night. I think I've mixed them together. Sorry. The first clip is not from Zamfara. That is from, oh, that's a shame. That is from Goma in Congo. But the second part of the clip is from Zamfara. So I'm going to fix that and come back and share it with you. Now, here is a young man who shared this personal story of, his time in Werey prison. All right. So he said, in fact, I would hear this first and I'll speak after that. Watch this.
Okay. What happened? Tell us. Mine is the worst. I was almost raped. I was thrown into a cell. The welcome address they could give to me was go inside and undress.
Undress?
Completely.
Which you did?
I got into that bathroom. When you are seeing full-fledged men around you, over 15.
Wanted to defy?
For that cause, which you must be executed. I went inside the bathroom. They had 3 men with me, standing, wanting me to carry out the order that was given.
What was the order?
To undress. To undress. So they were hurrying me. Why they delay now? What's the worry you? What's the worry you? Do fast. Trying to push me to comply. I refused. It led to serious fight.
Fight between you and them?
I have the evidences.
What are the evidences? Okay, they did this thing to you. Yeah. They gave you this mark.
Yes, you see, there's evidence. I was thrown to the ground. My head, this forehead you see, I had to press it. My head was smashed to the ground.
So when you said you were almost raped, is it by your fellow men or
men?
That's the homosexuality.
Homosexual act.
At your Werey Correctional Center here?
Yes. Wait, I'm still coming. You must have evidences. This is different. These cars, there's something they use to cut onion and things in the prison. Like something that was carved out from the top of a tomato. So because they wanted to make me bleed, because they wanted to break me, they thought in the process of dodging, I gave them my hand, so the thing tore my body. I even have marks of it on my hand, of cane. They were having canes, all of them cane in my back.
Using it on you?
Cane, yes. Look at one of the marks of the cane. There's another one here. If I open my body, you see the marks. So it was a very, very heavy fight.
So how did you overcome? Did the correctional center officials?
They saw that this person was not going to give in. So they had to stop, and they were already having oils.
Oh yeah.
To carry out for easy penetration. And this is something that even before the block, I was transferred from that block to another block. There was a notorious person in that block that I was later transferred to, in that cell, that his name is Sedechidera or something. He caused inmates to suck him. So these are the ill things we saw there.
So what was your name? What's your name?
I'm Nadi Victory.
Where did you say this thing happened for record purpose? Where did it happen?
Werey Correctional Center.
Thank you. Okay,
I think that's synonymous to male prisons anyway. You know, if you end up in prison, as they call it in Nigeria Correctional Center, you can be sodomized and sexually abused. Fortunately, that's a personal experience of someone. Okay, now let's go back to this Zamfara and the court gun runner. Here, watch.
Alhamdulillah, na farko ina godiya ga Allah madaukakin sarki da ya nuna mana wannan rana. Na biyu, ina ƙara godiya ga duka jami'an tsaron da suke bakin ƙoƙarin su tabbatar da cewa duk irin waɗannan mutane da ke kawo mana illa a wannan jiha tamu, Allah ya tuna musu asiri kuma suna shigowa. Yana tabbatar maka gwamnatin Zamfara tana kashe kuɗi masu yawa zuwa da 'yan sanda, sojoji da su kansu jami'ai farin kaya don tabbacin cewa aiki yadda ya kamata, kuma alhamdulillah ina gani cewa suna wannan aiki. Abin daɗi shi ne kama irin wannan mutane wanda kuma za mu ci gaba da ba su taimako kamar yadda muke yi har sai Allah ya kama na ƙarshen wannan bala'i da muke fama da shi a wannan jiha.
Zai kira ku da gwamnatin tarayya da ya duba ta tsoro musamman a kowane abin da ke shigo da wannan kayan.
Abin da zan iya cewa kullum shi ne za mu ƙara roƙo yadda boda mutum don yanzu ta ga wannan makamai tun daga wajen Nijar aka shigo da su wanda jami'an DSS suna biye da su har lokacin da suka kawo wajen auren namoda Allah.
And I think that's the last we are going to hear of that in Zamfara. So let's take a bit of a detour. Let's go to Congo. In the latest development from Congo, we now have the reports that the Shekedi's government in Kinshasa have now blamed the looting and burning of the foreign embassies in Kinshasa, the capital of Congo DR. It's now been blamed on hijack, as he said, it was the Rwandans that hijacked the protest and burned down all the embassies. And people were like, Minister of Defense, who said that? Yes, they said, so the Rwandans also burned down their own embassy in Kinshasa. She said, yes, they have it on good authority that it wasn't the Congolese that looted these embassies. But on the other side of the border, in this border town with the Rwanda and the East Congo, we have the footage of mercenaries who were hired, and they have been killing in the Eastern Congo for years. And from what I also discovered, they said, as part of the peace deal or something signed as far back as 1975, witnessed by the Organization of African Unity, OAU, before it turned out to the Africa Unity, AU today. It used to be OAU, remember? So they say it's against the Geneva Convention, it's against the European Union, this and that. It is also against the United Nations, peace accord, all these kind of deals, international treaties, right? It is against, it is a criminal offense for any government, all right, to hire mercenaries, right, in any local conflicts, for that matter. They say it is against international treaties, right? But these guys have been in Congo for years on the invitation of the Congolese government. The genocide that has been taking place in the Eastern Congo until these M23, rebels took over and, disarm or overpowered and disarm some of these rebels. Some of these mercenaries. They were comfortably operating. So yesterday, majority of them, over 200 of them, surrendered to the Rwandan army. And they were processed before they were all bussed to Kigali International Airport to return them back to their country. It is kind of like ironical as well that for years, these M23 guys were called terrorists. But in the last 72 hours, right, with the news of them taking over Goma, they have not killed any civilian. They have not burned any property. They took over Goma and not a single building is attacked. And that is very unusual to what we kind of like are used to. Rebels are considered very hostile. So for years, the Congolese government presented these M23 guys who are mostly Congolese themselves from the eastern part of Congo, who claimed to be fighting for their right and fighting for their land, fighting for their region that is impoverished by the corrupt, what do you call them again? Is it called the neo-colonists or, you know? So people who have these interested parties from outside Congo who are there mining their resources and then taking all these resources out of Congo, leaving the people of this eastern Congo in abject poverty. So these guys are the Congolese themselves from the eastern part of Congo who formed this, you know, this rebel group. In their fight, they claim they are fighting for their rights and their land, and they are there to chase away all of the imperialists and their soldiers. The South African soldiers who have been there for years as well were also seen to have surrendered and surrendered their guns. That's the set of guns I showed with that video earlier. I will show that again. So the next video I'm going to share with you, they are joined like combined videos, okay? Where we have these mercenaries, these foreign mercenaries from Europe who surrendered and got processed before being allowed to return back to their countries. And then we have these, you know, Congolese soldiers as well as South African soldiers who also surrendered, but they surrendered in Congo, in the, you know, in Goma, while the mercenaries, while they were escaping, they escaped to Rwanda, where they got processed and allowed to, like, you know, allow the passage to leave the country. The combined videos here, watch it.
bacakaze kabisa urukweto hagati mu maguru batageza zamura no mu nkweto ariko mu nkweto turaza kumenya harimo ikibiri tutajyashira mu byuma batadutwaye hariya gukora none ko bayamanitse umujinya bafite abonye kuri barakagapeti umujinya namwe muzi gisirikare shaka kuri muri mwete ahubwo bari kumara gusaka bari kujya hari shaka ubu bateguye kabisa igihugu cyacu we ahubwo abangaba n'abamenyesha Les soldats les mieux payés du monde vont rentrer chez eux.
Non, on ne se bat pour l'avenir de nos enfants. Nous avons un pays très riche, mais avec des leaders stupides. Ils vous ont recruté, vous touchez $8 000 par mois. Vous mangez, mais un militaire congolais de FARDC touche moins de $100. Vous mangez 8 000 par mois. Quel instructeur, tu as fait l'armée française? Tu as fait l'armée roumaine? Vous travaillez contre quelle agence? Ça fait l'institution militaire ici. Ça fait l'institution militaire ici, donc ici. Donc tu es instructeur, mais où est-ce que tu as fait l'armée, toi? L'instruction. Dans les gens étrangers, dans quel pays? La France. Donc tu quittes là, tu as fait ça en France, pour venir te battre contre nous. Alors on se bat pour l'avenir de nos enfants. Croisez les jambes. Mets dans la tête. Faut pas blaguer. Faut pas blaguer avec nous. Nous voulons vraiment que Congo soit un pays digne. Il ne faut pas avec des aventures ici. N'amenez pas les aventures ici au Congo. Tu as compris? Tu as compris? Donc il ne faut jamais encore venir sur des aventures. On se bat pour notre avenir. On extermine une catégorie de la population. On mange même l'air chez lui-même. Donc il ne faut pas blaguer. Ça va? Allez, mets-toi debout.
So yeah, for the South African soldiers and their Congolese counterparts, they all ended, they said while they were escaping from Goma, they were dropping their guns. So before the rebels came in, so the rebels packed all the guns, right? And that is the video of that. You know, like, forget about the propaganda that you may see out there, okay? Like, once the rebels approached and took over the airport and others were trying to escape, the fighters, right? They were dropping their guns on the street like that. They are like dropping their guns and running away. Others that approached the stadium, they approached the stadium with their hands on their head like this, without guns, because they left their guns somewhere else, like these ones. Yeah, I had to cut the video into two because I kind of like wrongly put appear them together because they are guns. So I automatically just felt like, okay, Zamfara now, okay. So those are the weapons that the fighters left as they all surrendered to the M23 rebels. Right now on social media, you see South Africans writhing in agony, in pains, like, how could they humiliate our soldiers like that? We need to attack Rwanda. We need to send fighter jets to Rwanda. Rwanda is just a small country. It's a small, go and try it. Go on. You know, they have been so, Paul Kagame has been kind of like so coordinated on this issue of Goma, right? And the way the whole thing turned out. Rather than being sanctioned, now he is being seen by the West as a possible mediator of their way back to Congo right now. While those in Kinshasa are muting the idea of, going back to attack Rwanda and attack Goma simultaneously. But the thing is that who are the soldiers they are going to use? When you already have like about 2,000-3,000 of your fighters surrendered, your mercenaries gone. So you need a lot of your soldiers to possibly protect the other districts, including the capital. But they are still meeting the idea of invading Rwanda. So again, we'll see how that plays out. All right. And if I get anything, if I hear anything, of course, I'm going to bring it to you, right? I'm going to share it with you. And if you also hear anything, share with us. So right now, there is no killing, there is no shooting. Since this Goma was taken, all the reported attacks on civilians, the rape and all of that have been so much like the situation before now, all of that have now become like a subsided. There is no report of any violence or what have you right now. But yeah, it is not really over until it is over, because some people believe that what is now next? What is next now? Because right now, it simply means that Goma, the eastern part of, which is the northern Kivu, right? The eastern part of Democratic Republic of Congo is no longer in the control of the governments of Congo. So what's going to happen? Are these guys going to advance to Kinshasa and take over the country, or take over more regions, or they're just going to stay in Goma and govern themselves, or declare independence from, are they just going to declare independence from Congo? So there are some propaganda that are being pushed right now that they have no plan. They are, what is the purpose of taking Goma? If your plan is not known. And I think that's what makes it more incredible, by the way. If their plan is unknown, there's a chance that there will be more surprises under their sleeves, right? I mean, there is a chance for that. Because they did not. Initially, what I heard before was that they were advancing to Kinshasa. But others are pushing the propaganda that no, they are not. They're saying that they don't even have the sort of the resources to do that. But what people don't understand about this kind of warfare is that these guys may take over Kinshasa without shooting a single gun, a single bullet. The moment that it becomes obvious that the center can no longer hold, and the politicians can no longer, the center can no longer be protected or defended per se. For example, if the message comes and says, we are coming to Kinshasa, and rather than the soldiers, the Congolese soldiers, to mount a counterattack or place themselves to defend the capital. And you realize that the soldiers started surrendering, like they started dropping their guns. The war is over. The politicians can't stay, they will run away. So whatever the politicians in Kinshasa are doing or saying right now, they are saying them because they are relying on the soldiers to defend them, to protect them. I have seen this play out a few times. All right. If they say we are coming to the capital, we have seen it happen in Afghanistan. We have seen it happen in Syria, though they are of different scenario. Don't get me wrong. Go. So you get the Islamists and their sponsor when it comes to Afghanistan, when it comes to Syria. When you look at the way the whole place fell, those who were supposed to defend these supposed capitals, the Kabul, or what is the capital of Syria again? Rather than defend the city, defend this player, what did they do? They surrendered. And the rebels, they just walk in. They just drove in. Nobody to fight them, nobody to defend anything. So, and the supposed civilians or the supposed Damascus, God bless you, that's Damascus, the capital of Syria. So, do you understand what I'm trying to say here, right? I don't know what the scenario is going to be like. I'm just saying that whatever Shekedi is saying, as the president of Congo right now, he has lost a part of the country. So if this rebel, as they call them, if their plan is to actually like overthrow the government and take over the country, so they will first have to send a message and say, we are coming to Kinshasa. And along the line, along the way, those who are supposed to push them back, if they begin to drop their guns and join them, it's over. That's how they are going to drive straight to this country's capital and take over. And politicians, they will run away. All this mouth, all this they will run away. They are only making all this mouth because they expect the soldiers to defend them, to defend the capital. Just like Assad expected the Syrian army, Syria Free Army or something to defend Damascus. When the time was close by, he ran away. Similarly in Afghanistan, when this, these Islamists were approaching, the soldiers started dropping their guns. They started kind of like surrendering. And that's it. They didn't even shoot any gun until they took over the country's capital. I have seen that happen. But right now, nobody knows what is the plan of the M23 after the takeover. After taking over after taking over Goma. I believe there is probably some other surprises. And guess what? They are also winning the propaganda war right now across Africa. This is 21st century of the day of internet, the day of social media, where people are beginning to understand the game better than the usual old propaganda and lies. The Western media propaganda. They no longer work on this generation of Africans. Right now, they are winning souls. They are now having supporters from across Africa. People are now beginning to see that they are actually freedom fighters. They are not rebels. They are not terrorists. And that is working for them. I'm just saying, if you have been following it, except if you are not, if you have been following it, you will get what I'm trying to say here. So these guys were supposed to be monsters. They have been blamed for so many things. But right now that they all have access to the social media, and we can see exactly what is going on and when it is, how everything is happening. So now they have supporters like what we have in Burkina Faso, in Mali, in Niger. Africans all over the place are beginning to see beyond the Western media narratives about Africa. Now you see this guy, Ibrahim Traore of Burkina Faso. He has fans all over Africa right now. You see these guys. Before, people were always like frowning at coup d'etat, coup plotters. Now that they know better and they see why or the reason behind their revolution, they are now getting supporters from across Africa. And the old order, where they are preaching democracy, People have seen through the charade, they have seen through the lies, they have seen the corruption in this fake democracy. So right now, people that are supposed to be seen as rebels, they are actually being seen as revolutionaries. I mean, I have seen the reactions of people across board. So these guys are becoming more or less like the M23, right? Which I have figured that they said they were started by the Museveni of Uganda, and the same M23 style was adopted by Paul Kagame of Rwanda. Now, if you have read the atrocities of M23 in the past, right, you kind of will expect them that they are monsters. They are this, they are rapists, they are, you know. But these days, people are now seeing them as freedom fighters after reading all that transpired in Congo. So rather than see them as enemy of the people, they are being kind of seen as revolutionaries. This is the failure of the Western democracy in Africa, as those who are supposed to uphold the ethics and the principle of a democracy in Africa have become the most corrupt set of people who seem to hate their people. So right now, any group of people that decide to face these rogues, they are not facing condemnation. They're actually being like praised as heroes. So there will be more surprises in the coming days. Like I said, it's inconclusive. It is either they will have to declare their independence from Congo, or they are pushing the fight to the center and chase the criminal politicians away. Time shall tell, right? And let's go back here to Nigeria. Here, I mean, last night as well, Max Air in Kano crash landed in what was believed to be the malfunctioning or malfunctional landing gear. There's no casualty, right? Well, it was a bit of a scary one. But at the end of the day, the passengers disembarked or deplaned safely for the scene.
Just fire, don't worry, just
Again, there were no casualties, and the cause of the crash is not readily known, but people believe it was caused by a malfunctioning landing gear. But there is a reason why I decided to pick on that news. Max here. Do you know the owner of the Max here? The owner of Max here in Nigeria was a notorious smuggler, a smuggling kingpin. The guy was so, his name is Dahiru Manga. During the time of Yaradua, they said this guy was so kind of like, I don't know if I should use so good in the business of a smuggling, cross-country trans-border smuggling, right? That Yaradua had to call him You understand? This Dahiru Manga. Yar'Adua had to call him and pleaded with him to stop smuggling. That he was willing to give him license, right? A license to operate in any sector of his choosing, whatever he wanted to do, apart from being a smuggler. In fact, there is a book, right, written by Tom Burgess on this particular issue. One day I'm going to read that. I'm going to read it for us here. All right. Nigeria, the land of criminals, a land where criminals are mostly rewarded. And anybody who tries to do anything right is so punished. I have it here. I have this. One day I'm going to read this story. It's called The Looting Machine. All right. So the guy was given the license eventually. And to make him legit, he became the owner of airline Max here. My time is fast spent, so let's go to something else quickly. In Delta, I have here Bright Edafe, as usual, displaying his unique interrogation technique. And this time around, it is of an old man that defiled a younger girl on camera. Watch.
I am SP Edafe Bright, and this is Delta State Police Command. We are presently at Ekpan Police Station in Owerey, local government area of Delta State. And with me, we have, what is your name?
Godwin Ekoni.
How old are you?
41.
He is a 41-year-old man who lured a 16-year-old girl into his room or wherever he will tell us and had carnal knowledge of this little girl. He will tell us how he went about it and what he hoped to enjoy from sleeping with such a small girl, even if it's against her will. Which day this happen?
On the 3rd.
Of this January?
Yes.
Okay. The little girl, who the girl be to you?
Now my close neighbor picking.
Your close neighbor picking. So where you for doing this thing?
For the place.
For where?
Their place.
Their own house. You went. What do you go do for the house?
Our mom leave them for me. Say make I look them. I'll tell our mom say I no feel look them.
Okay, the mom left them for you to look after them. That's one. You have had him. He said the children were left for him to take care of while the mom was away. Our parents are listening. So what you happen?
Because she never told me once before, say make I look at children. So that day I will talk. I tell us I know fit.
Okay.
So I want to go sleep. He begin beg me. Say God when I beg. I say I know fit because I know I be look.
Oh yeah, what you happen now? You know why we interview?
Yes. So the girl can go house. Her mom can go. She can collect key. Can go the house. So I can go meet her and say okay, arrange where her mom to make you arrange. I junior brothers I can't come because I
don't need the junior brothers.
Okay.
You know what you do.
Okay, so when she get inside, she fall the curtain of the window. So I push her to the bed and I slept with her.
You push her to the bed?
Yeah.
And made love to her?
Yeah.
Okay, so how come they can't know say you do the girl something?
Now when I'm not able to know because the house when somebody cut up my door to look for a neighbor, I say I not be neighbor. So as I just open the door, the guy just slapped me. And I said, bro, so wait with the quarrel. If I know they take me to community.
Okay, who do the best way in slap you? Who in be?
Be like nah, the woman where they get to the lane walk.
So how you think say that they know say you do something to the girl?
Maybe the girl tell them.
So if the girl consented to it, she go tell them?
No.
Okay, so when you finish, you felt like you are a man?
No. I feel very ashamed.
That the 41-year-old man who was given some children to take care of decided to take advantage of a 16-year-old girl.
I feel very ashamed.
How old are you?
41.
How many children you get?
No.
You never born? You get wife?
No. Only have a girlfriend.
You have a girlfriend? Okay. Hope the girl is very proud of you now.
No.
Are your parents still alive?
Already left.
Your parents, are they still alive?
Only my mom is alive.
Your mom is alive. You are from where?
I'm from Calabar.
Calabar. Where in Calabar?
Akwa Ibom.
Okay, you said this. You are from Calabar, Akwa Ibom. They have Akwa Ibom in Calabar. Uyo. You are from Uyo, Akwa Ibom. You don't even know where you come from again. Okay, well, the take home here is that children were left for this man who happens to be their neighbor to take care of. he entered the house of the people who were supposed to take care of and had unlawful carnal knowledge of a 16-year-old child who was left under his care. It's unfortunate, but I keep saying we as a people we must wake up and start doing the right thing. Thank you.
Bright. Bright. So yeah, rape is a very, very, very bad thing. And consent is very crucial. All right. I'm glad that he's caught and hopefully they can prosecute him. Because in Nigeria, it is so hard to prosecute a rapist. I don't want to go into details, right? But yeah, I've seen instances whereby even though you had the police arrest, but at the end of the day, they will bungle the entire case. And yeah, the younger woman won't really get justice. Okay. Yesterday we touched on the Ganusi controversy. All right. So while I was going to bed last night, I received a clip where one of I don't know if this guy is a comedian, right? But it's quite funny. Okay. So I was really cracked, right, when I saw a video that illustrated the Ganusi. I didn't know it has crossed to the other side where the traditionalists have been involved. So according to this guy, right, there is Odu Ifa that came up and they call it Ogbe Ganusi. Please watch.
Ifa K1 the ultimate in Ijebu. Ogbe Ganu. Ifa ni aganu wẹ́rẹ́wẹ́rẹ́ àwọn ọmọ lóde Ẹ̀gbá. Òjì kòtòkòtò Ganu òṣìkálẹ̀ àwọ̀ òde Ìjẹ̀ṣà. Òdílé ẹlẹ́bàtú yẹ̀rì ètè àwọ̀ wọn lóde Ìjẹ̀bú Mùrè. Nífà fún àwọn alátẹnujẹ lọ́jọ́ tán lọ rèé sì kú límọ́tù ṣàdúrà lóde Ìjẹ̀bú. Ẹbọ wọn pé kán rú ẹbọ wọn pé kán ṣe. Wọ́n pawó lékè, wọ́n pèsè ọ̀dà lólè, wọ́n wojú ọ̀run yànyànyàn bí ẹni ò ní kú mọ́. Wọ́n ní irọ́ lásán lásán lawó ń pa. Ǹjẹ́ ẹ kàṣà ìní Ganu òṣì nílẹ̀ yìí o? Ẹ mọ̀mọ̀ Ganu kábùkù. Ifá ní káwọn àfáà yìí kan yé lọ bí òkú olókùtàn bá pè wọ́n sí. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni Fáwí.
Ogbe Ganu. So according to him, right, the Ifa diviner said it is for the Afars in Nigeria that they should stop going to burials or occasions that they were not invited for their own sake, or else they will be disgraced as they were disgraced at Wanwan's mom's burial. On that note, we'll call it a night. Okay. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining me again. I'm sorry that we won't take us this evening, okay, but maybe we can tomorrow. And then tomorrow is my birthday as well, right? So anyway, if you joined us late and you probably missed part of the broadcast, kindly watch it from the start, okay? But if you have been with us all night, remember, before you go, if you haven't done that already, like the broadcast, like it, share it, all right? I will see you later. And good night from here. Good night.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Mayegun Diary na he be number one.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀ kámọ̀ tó jódodo.
Mayegun diary na ibi number one.
Mayegun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ará ìlú.
Mayegun diary na ibi number one.
Lórí Facebook lórí YouTube.
Mayegun diary na ibi number one.
Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Mayegun já wa sí.
Mayegun diary na ibi number one.
Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o.
Mayegun diary na ibi number one.
Bó bá ṣe eré àní Mayegun máa wí.
Mayegun diary na ibi number one.
Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o.
Mayegun diary na ibi number one.
Mayegun diary politico.
Mayegun diary na ibi number one.
Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Mayegun.
Mayegun diary na ibi number one.
Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o.
Mayegun diary na ibi number one.
Àní Mayegun làwa mọ̀ tó dódòdó.
Mayegun diary na ibi number one.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé. Mayegun ti dé.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Lórí Facebook.
Mayegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Lórí YouTube.
Mayegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Ijó ìgbádìyẹ.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Prẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Kí gómìnà kówó jẹ.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Ọlọ́pàá ti ń darí bá.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Aṣòfin ti ń rúfin o.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Òpùrọ́ olóṣèlú.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o.
Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o. Mayegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò fẹ́ bẹ̀. Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀. Mayegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò fẹ́ bẹ̀. Oníkanṣá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o.
Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Kì máa yí ṣe eré, ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Kì máa yí ṣe eré, ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o, ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣàyè tú wọn síta.
Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Tẹnitẹni ọmọ Mayegun ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni mo
fọlọ́hún ṣọ́ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ́bù lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù bọ́tà ń lè rí bóníṣègùn lé káwọn mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹrùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sì mọ́ bẹ̀. èèpo ọ̀bọ̀lọmọ bá dérò tàjẹ́ ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ ó ti jọba lórí àbínú ẹni kò sì mọ́ fòyà àìsíwọ́lu ní ẹnìkẹ́ ìgbódì ẹyin lábàrá o ó kó ẹni tó bá dán wò á kàmù máyé ègún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lúwẹ̀ tún ra kì máyé ègún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lúwẹ̀ tún ra kì o ẹni bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò òní fi wọ́n níran o.
máyé ègún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lúwẹ̀ tún ra kì máyé ègún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lúwẹ̀ tún ra kì ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.